All right, welcome back to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. I'm going to be your host today, Randy Angston, joined by Mr. Zach Columbia.
Yo, yo.
How we doing?
Living the dream.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they call it.
That is what they call it, huh? All right, guys. Today we're going to bring you something that we've been talking a lot about in our Springboard coaching program. And it's going to revolve around the delivery system of your business. We've been having the conversation. We talked about the 7 habits of a winning gym, one of which was kind of keeping the main thing. We're going to elaborate on that a little bit, kind of dive into the conversation that we're having with gym owners around kind of making sure that, you know, we're not living with a shiny ball syndrome. We're not jumping from service to service, not throwing things in the business just because we can type of thing. But Zach, why don't you kick us off and just kind of recap or kind of explain what we mean by like keeping the main thing.
Well, I think this is your term, but you don't want to be the Cheesecake Factory of fitness, where you have all of these different services that you are trying to fulfill on.
Yeah.
And I would take it even one step further. So, you know, services, it's like, well, we do large group, we do small group, we do semi, we do one-on-one, we do athletic training, we have stretch therapy, we have recovery, we have this, and what's really important for somebody to understand is that the system, the gym operating system for each one of those is different.
Good call.
It's its own individual gym operating system. So how you market and attract somebody for one-on-one training, how you do a consultation and convert that person, how you deliver that service, how you ascend that person is different than how you do it for semi-private. It's how you different than, you know, for a large group training. So most businesses don't even have a full gym operating system for one service, let alone 5 different ones.
Completely agree.
So there's that. That's like the top layer is like, hey, you get all these different services. But I would take it one step even further and say, you know, what service or style of training do you believe in as a gym? Because what happens is, even if you have, let's just say you do semi-private training like us, even if you have semi-private training, but then you have somebody come in and they want to do bodybuilding in that semi-private training and you're a functional training gym. If you say yes to that person, well, now we have to have a separate delivery system to, you know, it's not just, hey, I'm training in a semi-private environment, but now I have to program differently for that person. And that is going to have a trickle down effect. It's going to impact how the coaches deliver the training for that client, who's designing that programming for that person. How does that impact the other members in your gym that are training a different way? And so if you bring somebody in and they're like, yeah, I want to do, you know, all CrossFit style WODs in a semi-private, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to take this client because their money's green.
Yep.
And so you add that, and then you do youth athletic training in your, you know, semi-private format, and then you do bodybuilding, and you have all of these different ways that you deliver your programming. Now things are even, you know, muddier. So it's not just the multiple service offerings, but it's also like, what is your thing that you're offering? And man, you got me going.
You're fired up here.
You open a can of worms by asking me one simple question. But like, if you guys look at the history of Starbucks, the recent history of Starbucks, where they were, you know, basically it's like, hey, we're the third place. Like we sell coffee. You come in, you stop here between home and work. You hang out, you have a nice little coffee shop, and their first principles was like, they wanted to bring that like European coffee shop feel to America. Right. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they bring in a new CEO, and that CEO is like, hey, we're missing the opportunity here to sell bagels and sandwiches and smoothies and protein shakes. And they add all of these things to their menu. And what happens? They just start tanking because they put all of that, like now they're how they manage supply chain has changed. How the barista interacts with the customer is different. The speed to deliver a cup of coffee, which is what they do, declines because they're trying to service multiple different products. And now they're making smoothies and sandwiches and all of these things. And they can't even be good at what they originally were good at.
Yeah.
And so it was like, hey, we've tanked for 6 straight quarters. Let's get rid of the CEO. They brought in a new one. And the guy's like, we're going back to the third place principle and we're going to sell coffee and focus on that.
Well, I mean, I just saw you literally yesterday or day before. I mean, there's 12 or 15 here in the Valley that are closing.
Yes.
Corporate decisions, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, think about that, guys. Like, nobody's imagining Starbucks closing locations.
No, and they have the second most locations of any franchise in the world, I believe, for fast
Next to
food.
McDonald's?
No, it's Subway.
Oh,
Subway,
okay.
Starbucks. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. We talk about it, Tim mentioned we've shared the Boston chicken story.
Yes,
right?
exact same thing.
Same idea, right? And, you might be listening. It seems like, a natural progression. You know what I mean? Where, we're really good at this without the thought of the delivery system, the marketing, the servicing, the ability to sell it is just by throwing something else on the menu of options. You have to look at it through the lens of all of those different operating systems that are impacted by that. And I think that I always use the term or the saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yes.
And I think that that's a big thing. We've talked on this podcast. We did an episode on the 5x5 or the 5-question matrix where it was, do you believe in it? Can you service it? Can you sell it? Does it get your client a better result? Like all 5 of those different things. The important thing there is, unless all 5 are yes, it's not even in contention. If all 5 are yes, it's still an option.
Yes.
It's not a yes. It's just an option to then decide does it make sense to continue. But I think you said something that was really prevalent. And I'll follow up with another thing, but you said, do you believe in it? And I think this is where gym owners get it wrong, I would say, because we get excited by the opportunity to sell it or to, like you said, that the money's green, right? This person's interested in giving me the money. Sure. Take the money and figure it out later at the expense of the other clients, at the expense of your time and program that goes into it, at the expense of all of the things downhill that you might not be thinking about.
Correct.
Just because that person's excited and you're a phenomenal trainer, you've got a great team, and can you service that person in what they're looking for? Probably. But do you have the systems in place to market and to sell it and to do the programming and all of that stuff without breaking what you already do? And that's the biggest thing. The second half is those clients, if you're going to bring that into your business, those clients are a different individual than the clients that are currently paying you money or that you've built, your business around thus far. And I think that's something that we often forget. Just because we're in the fitness industry doesn't mean that all fitness is what we do. And I think that's where a lot of gym owners go wrong, because they know we could do it, but they don't realize that it is not the same business that you're currently doing. And it's almost grasping at straws. It's a little bit of either a desperation option, like tactic, where we just, whatever we can do to get more revenue coming in, as opposed to doubling down on what it is you bring to the table already, what you believe in, what you're really good at, what you're servicing already, and making that the growing area of the business so that you don't have to look at all these other ancillary options or different service options. If that's not the business that you're running today, that's the only thing you need to focus on.
Yeah, it's a very simple. So like the 5-question matrix, obviously, but we can even simplify it from there. You as the gym owner, do you train yourself the same way that you train your clients? So this is one of the things that I think CrossFit is not a great business model. Sure. I think it's a great sport. I love the sport of CrossFit. I love watching it. I'm like, man, these people are insane athletes.
Right? Yeah.
But from a business standpoint, I don't think it's a good business model. The one thing that I will absolutely give credit to for the box owner is that box owner usually bleeds CrossFit.
Yep.
And they're like, I believe in this. This is what I do. Okay. So they're like, I'm going to give credit to that person.
Sure, yeah.
But a lot of gym owners out there do not train their clients like they train themselves. And so if you're going to offer a large group training, program, and it's going to be a circuit style, come in 60 seconds here, 20-second rest, like, and that's your workout framework. How often do you do a workout like that yourself?
Sure.
If it's hey, that's the way I believe in training. Awesome. Who am I to tell you to train differently?
Yeah.
But if you're telling your clients to do that, and you're going to the gym and you're like, it's Monday, it's chest day, baby.
Yeah.
Then there's a disconnect, and you don't believe in your own product or service.
That's a good point.
And so if you're like, yeah, I believe in this, I do it twice a week. Okay, cool. Build that into a program that you're selling to your clients where they do that twice a week, and then they do whatever else you're telling that you do yourself the other days of the week.
Yeah.
And so this is where, for a gym owner, it's like, well, what do you believe? Stop just taking money just to take money, because that's such a short-term solution. Like, if you zoom out and you looked at all of the negative ways that is going to eventually impact your business, you would not take the money. You would just tell the person, no, we don't do that here. Here's what we do.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's like, if I go, hey, I'm going to offer this because there's a certain percentage of people that will buy it. But I don't believe in it. It's going to impact the main thing that you do believe in. Even if you're still selling the main thing, the delivery is going to be different. It's, your coaches are going to have multiple things that they're trying to deliver on. I remember here when I started as a coach, we had large group like boot camp training and semi-private training. And we had large group training at 6 p.m. and our last semi-private session was at 7 p.m. But we also had semi-private training at 6 p.m. So for those clients that came in at 6 p.m., their experience was totally different, because we had 20, 30, 40 people in here doing a large group training session while those people were doing their semi-private.
Sure.
So if they came in an hour earlier or hour later, different environment, different, vibe, like music's not as loud, more availability for equipment. Like, the coach that's running the semi-private is now having to like adjust where that person's going through the gym and navigate it, because you got 40 people over here jumping on boxes and, sweating all over the place. And then as a coach, I would get done with that 6 p.m. And for the 7 p.m., I was smoked, because I just brought all this energy and I'm yelling and getting everybody hyped up. And that 7 p.m., I'm like, holy cow, like I got to make it through one more hour. And it's a totally different like energy level that, and vibe that you're bringing to the session. So then it impacted the 7 p.m. too.
And I think that's a good point, because like bandwidth, right? Like whether it's resources, financial resources, whether it's the energy that you're bringing to the table, whether it's the knowledge of the programming, whether it's the your just ability to like, actually show up and deliver a superior service, and time, gym owners, I'm not trying to rag on you guys, but you do not value your time the way that you should. You're the first to jump in and just do something because you can, but at the expense of what it's doing in other areas. And, I've talked about it before, where I don't want to see you bragging about repairing the equipment on the training floor to save $60. Like, that's outsource that, right? Not only is it not the most financially sound use of your time, but the liability that comes with it is probably even worse than the hour or whatever you just burned up. But there's things like that. You have to look at this business as from the lens of a business owner, not just willing to do everything simply because you can. And I think that back to kind of the belief around what you're doing, the whole goal is your term, right? 5 Mile Famous. What are you known for? What is your business known for? What is your belief as an owner in the business? What is your ethos and how you bring that to the marketplace? And if you're the type of individual who's kind of like the Cheesecake Factory mindset, where, we serve anybody and everybody. Well, it goes back to the old, master or jack of all trades, master of none.
Correct.
Right. And if you want to be best in class, if you're going to be the expert in your area, You can't do that in every one of those realms, or none, right? Athletic performance is different than a large group. That's different than a one-on-one. The chances, and again, it's not a certification thing. It's the ability to bring that to the marketplace successfully and have a business that's actually paying you a dividend as an owner, that's providing a service that everybody who's getting that gets an equivalent or a repeatable experience. If you look at your business and you're kind of all over the place, this is where you're going to kind of have to take a step back and say, okay, well, why? Are we serving too many different types of training? We're not saying that you may not have, you might have ancillary services like stretch therapy or recovery or things like that, but the way that we look at it is those should complement your main service, not be another service that, is kind of a left or a right choice. And that's where a lot of gym owners, I think, they muddy the waters in a way, because it's, you go back to the fact that, we've got a couple hours on the schedule that we could throw in some team training. Why don't we just go do that? And you're not thinking about all of the other things it takes to bring that, to the business.
So even within the same service, same service, let's just use semi-private as the example, because this happens with, like I was on the phone with a gym owner the other day and we were talking about this. So semi-private training, and they were like, well, we're going to have a 2-time-a-week membership that's X, and then we're going to have our 3-time-a-week, and then we're going to have our unlimited, and then we're going to have the elite one that has the unlimited training plus, whatever else, recovery and infrared sauna and like all these things. And I was like, hey, which one do you believe is going to get your members the best results? Which one? And they're like, well, obviously this top one. And I'm like, okay, sell that.
Yeah.
Sell that. And so, if you just determine, how do I get my clients the absolute best results? What can I price that at? And go all in on it. Your world gets so much more simple. You start marketing that, you start selling that, you start delivering that, and all of those become very congruent. And I would argue that you can be so much more successful if you just determine what is the best thing that you can deliver for your clients and then focus on it. Mm-hmm. Forget all the other noise, all the other distractions. Like if your client, comes in and they're like, hey, here's, I need a result. Nobody comes to us because they, are like, hey, I want to train 2 days a week. They come to us because of what that training 2 days a week they believe is going to get them.
Yes.
And so your job is to deliver a packaged solution for the client. Here's how we get you that result, right? And the benefit. And so the client will buy that. They don't know. They're saying they're coming in and saying how many times a week do I need to train and what's it going to cost me? Because they don't know
Yep.
what else this is going to get them the solution and solve their problem.
Or that's what everybody else is talking about, right? It's always the features, for X, I get X, this, and this, right? And if that's the conversation you're having through a consultation, you're probably doing it wrong. You're probably losing the real power in that that opportunity. The client's looking for the end result. Yeah. That what's in it for me, and then the how they really don't care about, right? They don't care. I mean, they care, but it's not the things that they're actually weighing in the true decision making. You know what I mean? If they knew it was a different style of training, we don't talk about the type of training that we're providing until that person's sitting across from you. Really. It doesn't show up in our marketing. All we're talking about is the benefits, the solution we bring to the marketplace provides to the client. Yep. And they get the option to say, hey, is that a solution? Is that the solution I'm looking for? Yes. Okay, cool. How do we get that done? That's downhill. But if you're leading with all of that stuff, right? Like that's where, again, you're kind of missing the mark, right? It's about the result and the solution you bring to the table, not the how. Yeah. In a way.
And so that's what we do with our Springboard program is, okay, what do you believe is going to get the clients the best result? What's your main thing that you want to focus on? Okay, cool. This is what it is. All right, now let's talk about how we package that, how we put it together, the language that we use to position that as a solution for somebody. Here's how we price it. Here's how you put it on your schedule, like all of those things. And we're coaching the gym owner on how to do that and make it the main thing. And then if somebody has these other services existing in their business, the large group, whatever it is, it's like, okay, well, that's fine. We're not going to just say like, oh, cut that off.
Sure.
Maybe that's making you $8,000 a month or 15 grand a month or something. Well, we're not going to just say like, don't worry about that and just do this. We're going to say, okay, let's stop selling those. Yep. Let's sell this main thing. Let's market it. Let's sell it. Let's deliver on it. And then let's convert. Let's use some strategies that we employ to go ahead and convert people over gradually and phase out those other programs so that when we do decide, okay, time to cut that off, like we're not losing any revenue.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's just a strategy and that's the way to go about doing it. But you have to know what you believe first.
And I'll leave it with this. One of the things that I had a conversation with the gym owner yesterday about these different service options. He wants to do a different service than his main thing a couple of times a week. But again, he realized, well, my coaches don't train that way, so I have to bring in outside help. Nobody sells it, or he's doing all the sales. Nobody else can sell that, so he's stuck in that position. There's all of these different things, and my challenge to him was, where do we draw the line? Right? His opportunity was, what I know that I can get some people from the marketplace because they're thinking about this. I'll bring them in, and then over time, I'll just convert them into what our main thing. Where do you draw the line? As a gym owner, you're hit with a million different things a week or a month probably that you could bring into the business. But if you don't believe in it, it shouldn't be an option, right? Like, and so he didn't believe in that type of training. And that was my challenge to him, was like, okay, that's outside of the congruence of what you believe in. Why are we even negotiating bringing that into the business?
And not only that, but he knows that his coaches don't believe in it. So he has to go out and get different coaches. Like, think about that. Oh, I have clients in my business that are coming in and training here. And then my coaches are going to be,
they're no longer the expert.
They're not going to lie to the client. If the client's like, hey, should I be doing that? Yeah. And the coach is going to be like, no, like you shouldn't be, doing Zumba or whatever. Like, what is that going to do for you?
Yeah.
And so,
and think about it. I mean, like, I'm sure you get hit with like EMF suits and vibration plates and all of like the tech stuff, and the stuff changes all the time. Trends come and go in fitness. And back to the kind of shiny ball syndrome is like, if you don't have a really clear filter of what it is what you deliver upon, what you believe in, you're going to be the one that's susceptible when those people are knocking on your door trying to sell you their opportunity to your business, because you feel like, oh, I can get some people in the door with this, some people in the door with that, some people, and the next thing you know, your business is the Cheesecake Factory.
I know we need to wrap this episode up, but I'm just going to go this route. It's the same thing with being congruent with your coaches and your staff. So in your gym, your coaches need to be able to simply speak to your business and your product and the problems that you solve the same way that you would in a consultation selling it. So like for our staff here, it's LIFT, Lifestyle Integrated Fitness Training. What we do as a business is we help integrate fitness training into our clients' lifestyles. That's what we do. That's what the team knows, and we train on it. Boom,
Yep.
boom, boom, boom. If you have multiple service options and you have, a coach that runs the boot camp and they love the boot camp and they're like, you should come to boot camp. And then you have a coach that's over here doing, strength training, and a coach that's doing functional training. You have no brand. There is nothing you could possibly be known for other than running workouts and having a gym with equipment and payroll.
Yep.
You do not own a business. You don't own a brand if you're not known for something specifically that you do. And so, not only are you susceptible to coaches leaving and taking clients, but you're going to have this infighting or at least incongruency within your own business with current clients of like, do I go here and do this? Do I go here and do this? It has to be a single program. So if the message is, hey, we believe in strength training 3 times a week and then doing the metabolic training twice a week, that's the message the whole entire team preaches, and that's your program. But then we have to box that up. We have to sell it as something specific that solves problems for clients, not as I come in and work out. There's no value in workouts alone. Once a client gets that and they do it for, 10, 20, 100 times, they're done. They're leaving. People do not buy from you because of what you have. They buy from you because of what you believe, and it aligns with their beliefs.
There you go.
So if you sell them the what workouts, then once they get it, they're gone. There's no loyalty there.
Yeah.
I can go get workouts anywhere,
Transactional. Yeah.
and I can go sweat, and the coach can correct my form anywhere. And I don't care what you say, like you're not better at it than the gym down the street. Maybe you are, but like the
client won't.
They don't know the difference.
Yep, exactly.
But if you say, hey, our magic sauce is we do this proprietary blend of functional strength training with, a metabolic reset on the programs 5 days a week or whatever, then that's something that's unique to you that your competitor doesn't have. They have a different thing. And so who do you think is going to win? The person that's saying, hey, come work out over here, or the gym that's saying, hey, we've got this proprietary program of how we deliver, results for our clients.
Boom.
So,
well, I think, today that was a good one. I mean, obviously I think we hit the point. The main message obviously is keep the main thing, double down on what it is you believe and what you want to bring to the marketplace, the solution you provide, not just hot, sweaty bodies in the room. And take this to your business. Look at your business. One thing that we've really focused on, not only here at Legacy, but with a lot of our clients right now, is more is not better, more is more. And right now, I think the strategic advantage in the marketplace is actually optimizing the business and refining down, not expanding on most of the things.
Okay, one more thing.
Go for it.
One more thing. It is okay for you to not be for everyone. If a customer comes into your business and they try it out for a week, 2 weeks, whatever, and they're like, I don't like the way that you guys train. I want to go do, jump on boxes or whatever and get sweaty. No problem. Thanks. Move on. Yeah. That's not your ideal client. They don't align with what you believe, and that's okay. That's not a bad reflection of you. If anything, that's a good reflection. Hey, we're real clear on what we do.
Yep.
So
I would agree. Well, take that to your business, like I said, and find the win here, guys. If you're struggling, obviously Zach and I, we're the 2 main coaches in the Springboard program. There's a link in the show notes. Reach out. We'll jump on a call. We'll figure out, what it is you bring to the table that's your unique special sauce, and we'll help you kind of, double down on that and bring that to the marketplace. But that's what we have for today's episode. Keep changing lives. We'll see you in the next show.
All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. If you want more help growing your business, join our free Facebook group, Profit Accelerator, helping training gyms grow to $30,000 a month and beyond. We'd love to see you there. Go check out the show notes for the link and keep building something great. And we'll see you in the next episode.